Welcome in to DNVR Bets Daily on this beautiful Friday here in Denver, Colorado. I, Andre Simone, am flying solo today after a bit of a rough night in the KBO, but we'll talk about that in a sec because really without Ryan here, the beauty of this show is we had our guy, Curtis Blaydes. If you haven't watched the show regularly or missed the first time Blaydes was on the show, he's the number one ranked heavyweight contender in the world in the UFC, really kind of the youngest top five contender in that division. Future is extremely bright. He's got all the parts of his game ready to really become a dominant force in the UFC. He's got a big fight in 2 weekends. We talked to him about that. We talked to him about preparation for that fight, everything that's going on. And then he was so kind after dominating the picks the first time we had him on to go into this really complex, it's kind of a UFC card made for diehards. He went through pick by pick with me from that main card of this upcoming Saturday. So we did all of that. We're going to play that interview in full because it was just fantastic talking all the ins and outs of those fights with Blaydes. Before we do that, real quick, though, a quick word to our friends at DraftKings. I remind you to download the DraftKings Sportsbook app now and use code DNVR when you sign up. For a limited time, all new users can get a sign-up bonus up to $1,000. That's right. DraftKings Sportsbook has a sign-up bonus up to $1,000. Don't forget, enter code DNVR and get your sign-up bonus up to $1,000. Only at DraftKings Sportsbook. You must be 21 or older, Colorado only. Bonus comprised of a first deposit bonus and a first bet match, each up to $500. Deposit bonus requires 25 times playthrough. Restrictions do apply. See DraftKings.com/sportsbook for details. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-522-4700. Support them, guys. They've been amazing to us. All the props that they've allowed us to put on there. All the different offers, opt-ins, protections, bonuses. The Colorado Avalanche to win the Stanley Cup. You've got an extra bonus on that. It's just, I don't know what you're doing if you're not getting in on DraftKings. So do that and support us and use code DNVR and get matched the amount that you put in. That's a beautiful deal. And there'll be some great deals over the weekend. Now to our interview with Curtis Blaydes.
How's it going, Blaydes? Thanks for coming on the Denver Sports Podcast.
No problem, man. I'm doing good. How are you guys?
Good. We're excited to learn more about your fight.
Yeah, Curtis, you've got this fight coming up. We talked about it last time you were on with us on the bets where you nailed a bunch of picks, by the way.
You really did. All of our guys were like, we are only listening to Blaydes' picks from now on.
That's right. Very excited to have you back on. But now finally we get to talk about a fight that you're in. Big fight, main card for the UFC Fight Night coming up on June 20th. That'll be in Las Vegas, and you're going against, seasoned vet Alexander Volkov. You're obviously the higher ranked guy. I was looking at the odds on DraftKings. You're coming in as a pretty heavy favorite. How have you been preparing for that, man?
It's been a pretty traditional camp. I've been doing my strength and conditioning, doing my pad work, doing my sparring rounds, my jiu-jitsu workouts, my wrestling workouts. So everything's pretty much been normal for me. I know the rest of the world's been a little bit out of whack, but my schedule's been pretty much the same.
So nothing has been different, even though you guys have to think of COVID now in the back of your mind?
Honestly, I don't even think about the corona. Because I've read the stats. I think I had it back in January before my junior fight. I lost about 15 pounds, 2 weeks out. I couldn't sleep. I was hacking. I was sweating a lot. Couldn't eat, puking. Then it goes away, and I still won the fight. So, and I had abs. I'm not that mad about
it. Yeah, you won that fight in convincing style too. You showed some of your added a little more to your game here. What can we expect in this Volkov fight? I mean, and you don't want to give away your game plan. Not that Volkov's necessarily.
My game plan. My game plan is always the same, universal. I want to pressure you. I want to wrestle you. I'm going to elbow you. It's always the same.
Beautiful. Yeah, and he's going to struggle with that ground and pound. I see his only game plan as trying to keep you at bay with those kicks. But the problem here, Blaydes, is if I'm really good at kicking, but I'm going against someone like you, I'm terrified that you're going to catch my leg and take me to the ground. So how does he navigate that, man? And how do you take advantage of that?
Exactly how the junior fight was. I knew he was scared to put anything out there, because when you put any heavy strikes out there, you have to anchor down your back hip. When you anchor down that back leg, it makes you a stationary target. If you miss, or if you hit me but it doesn't scare me away, I want to get to your hips, and no one wants to be underneath me. So he's not going to be as aggressive as he normally might be. He's going to be going backwards. I'm going to be able to pressure him. And when you're getting pressured, you make bad decisions. You get a little antsy. You start tossing out things you wouldn't usually toss out, because you're not used to being on your back foot the whole fight. He's going to be going backwards this whole fight.
Yeah, I can just see it already. He is the bigger fighter. I was interested, what do you usually enter fight at, and how much you set yourself up to cut?
I don't have to cut. Right now I weigh 259. I normally enter Monday at 259, 58, around there. And then I don't eat that much throughout the week, just because I do have nerves. Nerves happen regardless. Yeah. It happens every fight week. So my hunger kind of goes away, and I just don't eat as much. I lose a little bit of weight. I'll probably be on the scale at probably 255.
Oh, that's beautiful. So I mean, it's basically you're not even cutting anything. That's such a huge advantage.
I feel bad for heavyweights that have to cut weight.
Right. Yeah, totally.
Blaydes, so this podcast here, we talk about all Denver sports and kind of break down. Maybe the hockey fan doesn't know much about football, so we kind of break it down in those. Could you kind of explain what your week is like next week, right before the fight, for those who may not be watching MMA as much?
Well, usually my week is, I get there on a Tuesday, we sign it. We check in. I get my bag of gear. My coaches usually get there the next day. So Tuesday, pretty much hang out, do whatever I want to do. Wednesday, my coaches get there. I do a couple interviews over the phone or Skype. We get a workout in, then we relax. Thursday, same thing. I do my media obligations, and then I relax. And then Friday, we get on the scale, we make weight, we eat, we work out, and then we pretty much the whole week is just mental prep. Because there's not a whole lot you can do in 5 days if you haven't already added it.
Right.
I'm not gonna add a new move that I don't already have in a week. So it's pretty much all mental. Like my coach likes to say the hay's in the barn already.
Yeah, I like that. And then probably pretty similar here with the COVID. Have they tested you prior? Do they just test you once you get to Vegas? How does that process been working?
I have had a couple of teammates who've already had fights during the pandemic, and they told me when you get there, they're going to test you once. They're going to do what they put the thing down your throat. To do that.
Oh yeah.
You pass that, you get a red wristband, which means you're good. And then the rest of the week, they check your temperature every morning, and then I think again at nighttime. And if you're good, you keep your wristband, and that's pretty much all I know. And I know they really don't want us to be like out exploring or out interacting with other people. So I'll probably be in the hotel, wherever that is. I don't even have my hotel info yet, but wherever the hotel is, that's probably where I'll just spend most of my time at.
Right.
Blaydes, all of the guys that you've been training with at Elevation have been dominating lately. What do you think it is about training there that has given you all such an advantage?
I think it's the elevation. I've
Mm.
always said that. That's why I moved here. I'm from Chicago. I lost my debut fight. I knew I had to change up things, and I was blessed. I was able to come here and make a great connection with the coaches down at Team Elevation, and I think that's the biggest X factor is my conditioning. If you can push the pace for the duration of the fight, if you can keep at an 8 for the first round, the second round, third round, and if you have a 5-round fight, the fourth and the fifth round, a lot of guys come out at a 10 and they drop to a 7, and they drop to a 5, and then they just keep dropping.
That makes sense. I think that's a lot of athletes come out to Colorado, especially runners, to just kind of practice and get used to that elevation.
Yeah, huge factor there. And I mean, it's just been showing the all the Colorado guys have just been dominating, especially in these recent cards. Ali, should we move on to the upcoming fights this weekend? And
yes, people are so excited to hear your picks for this weekend.
Okay. Let me preface before we start. A lot of the fighters on this card I have never heard of. I'm not even gonna lie to you. So a lot of them I might just say pass because I don't know. I don't want to give out false information.
Well, we appreciate that.
Yes, for sure. I'm down. It is an unusual card. Kind of exciting from a betting perspective because there's some younger guys, more unknown guys. I think it'll be more wide open. We'll see less knockouts despite the smaller cage. By the way, smaller cage in the Apex. That's a huge advantage for you under Volkov. I love that. So anyways, we start with the main card. Local kid, Mark De La Rosa, trains out at Factory X. He's going against Jordan Espinosa, 2 former ranked flyweights going up to bantamweight. I think this is kind of a toss-up, and I'm intrigued by De La Rosa as a plus 135 underdog. Espinosa is going to be faster, want to play more at range. De La Rosa is the better grappler and is going to want to make it more of a fight in the phone booth, and that's why I like the underdog. Any thoughts on this one?
I would agree. I think the smaller octagon favors the grappler.
Right.
So I'm going to go with De La Rosa.
And it's so unusual to have both guys going up from flyweight to bantamweight, especially with the bantamweight being so competitive. I find that quite intriguing.
They're probably having issues like getting their proper nutrition, and I know the pandemic has made it harder for like guys to have to cut weight. That's one of the blessings of being a heavyweight. I didn't have to worry about all that extra stuff.
That makes a lot of sense. I hadn't even considered that. The next fight is Gustavo Lopez, who's making his UFC debut. He's coming from Combate Americas. So I was watching highlights of him. He's a former wrestler out of the state of Washington, highly ranked as a prep. And as a pro MMAer, he's had some knockouts and stuff. So he's exciting to watch against Mareb Dwolla, who's just a pit bull. Lopez is a huge underdog. I'm intrigued by his skills, but I know he's never fought the level of fighters he's going to see in the UFC. And Dwolla is so tough, man. He just keeps coming, so complete. What? Any suggestions here?
I'm gonna go with Mareb. He is the veteran, and he's hungry. I've watched him. He goes in, he brings the high energy, high pace, and again, the smaller octagon is gonna force guys who usually don't like to engage early. You don't have to engage. You have to defend yourself. You have to put some punches out there early. And if you're not comfortable doing that, which I don't think a lot of guys are, unless you're the grappler.
Right.
I'm gonna go with Mareb again.
Yeah, I like that. Obviously, the value you're getting on the plus 300 underdog is intriguing, but yeah, I'm with you 100%. Couldn't talk myself into that. Then we have a really intriguing featherweight fight with Andre Fili, minus 220 favorite against the Canadian Charles Jourdain. Both these guys in their mid-20s, both exciting, young, athletic dudes with some nice skills. My only thing is this will be his 3rd UFC fight. He's 1-1 in his prior 2 fights. Fili instead, despite just being 26, has played as competed against nothing but highly ranked guys. Max Holloway famously said he was the toughest opponent he'd ever faced. This is another one where I think the favorite's too hard to pass out. Your thoughts? Yeah.
Yeah, I would go with Andre. I've watched him, like you said. It feels like he's been in the UFC for about a decade, even though it hasn't been. But I've watched so many of his fights. I like how he moves. He switches stances all the time. He's always creating new angles, and he's aggressive. He throws a lot. He throws heavy heat, and he's a decent grappler. Also, I've seen him get taken down. I've seen him put guys in bad positions in his guard. I think overall, I watch Charles Jourdain. He's nice, but I don't think he's ready for a guy like Andre.
Yeah, I completely agree. And the other thing about Felia is that guy's got a chin for him, you know, for a flashy, pretty boy fighter. That guy has survived some tough ones in extended fights. Okay, well, we got to the grudge match of the weekend. This crazy Carl Roberts, Marvin Vettori fight. Roberts again misses weight, so I don't know what's happening with this. Dude.
Wait. He missed weight again?
He missed weight again.
Oh, I'm going Vettori. I'm going.
You have
Vettori
to go, right?
Yeah.
Well, and how can Carl even get away with doing this again?
I don't know. He is playing with fire, because if he loses this, he's going to go in there with a lot of pressure, because he knows if he loses, very likely, because they don't like that. You miss weight back to back. They don't like that at all.
Well, Vettori's highly motivated. Vettori's got a lot of talent. I mean, we forget the last fight this guy lost was in a split decision against Izzy. So,
I watched that. I was a war. I was a danger.
Yeah. My only thing is Vettori's so big and powerful, and yet we haven't seen much KOs from him. I see him kind of get tired out.
He's smart. He doesn't really roll a lot of heavy stuff. He's always just touching, probing, getting you to move, and he kind of directs you with his punches. Like, he'll hit you with a jab this way and go to the body, and the other side to kind of box you in. But he's not looking to drop you. He's just looking to control you.
So that's kind of the game plan there. Okay. And I mean, and he's going to want to play at closer range while, you know, Carl has those kicks. He's a good defender. You know, he's good defensive movement. But yeah, Vettori, man, with all that's going on in the end, I'm kind of with you on Vettori, even though I was intrigued by Robertson as an upset here. And then the main event, Cynthia Calvillo going up from strawweight against Jessica Eye, the #1 contender in the flyweights. I guess I see Calvillo as the more exciting and more complete fighter, especially with her grappling skills, but Eye's going to have that added size advantage that might nullify kind of the advantages Calvillo has on paper.
Honestly, both of these fighters, neither one of them has scary power.
Yeah.
Neither one of them has scary hands. So it's probably going to be a lot of clinching and space. Clinching and space. They don't know how to fight in that zone 2 range, that kickboxing range. They're either going to be way apart or just like way too close to hurt each other. So this is probably going to end up being a split decision. I have no idea who's going to win this one though, because they're pretty much the same fighter.
Yeah, Vegas and myself are with you. It is a true toss-up here.
Okay.
Any, I guess I was reading up the one prelim upset I thought was intriguing was Charles Rosa at +150 against Kevin Aguilar. Any of these fights where you think they could easy KO or won't go the distance, and that's a nice value bet to hit here?
Honestly, I haven't watched enough of either guy to give you an accurate depiction. So
sure.
Yeah.
In general, on this card, though, any of these fights we just talked about where you think like, oh yeah, that guy's gonna win, and he's winning with a finish. I don't know that there are any in this card.
No, there's no. This whole card feels like a prelim.
Yes.
for the next card next weekend for my card. It feels like
It's
a
true.
giant prelim. So
It's true. It really is
honestly,
true.
I may not even watch it.
On your card, how really?
I may not even. Well, because my brother, he just got here in town, and we might just go up to the mountains
Oh,
and
gotcha.
do some hiking stuff. Yeah.
That sounds fantastic, especially the week prior to your fight. Speaking of finishes, what about your match against Volkov? Do you have a round prediction for us?
I never predict because you never know. And all my
Yeah.
fights where I have gotten a finish, if you
Mhm.
watch my pre-fight interviews, I said this same thing. I don't hunt the finish. I let it happen organically. Like my game plan is just gonna break you and break you. If you give me the finish, okay, like Alistair or Junior or Abdurrahimov. But if it doesn't happen, like Justin Willis or Mark Hunt, it doesn't happen. But it's still a dominant decision regardless.
I cannot wait, Curtis. I am so excited to see that. And hopefully with this DC a rematch and the heavyweight fight finally scheduled, you guys will, this log jam that's been happening with those vets at the top will free the way for guys like you to really get a true shot at the title after this. Yeah, man, we're rooting for you. So always a pleasure, Curtis, really geeking out, talking about these fights. There's nothing better for me. So thank you so much. Best of luck. We will be rooting for you at the bar and all around Denver during your card on the 20th. And yeah, can't wait to do this again soon. Thank you as always.
Dre, I can't hear you.
I forgot to unmute my mic. So
There we go.
the not so smooth transition I just did was even less smooth than talking on a muted mic. But no, thank you to Curtis Blaydes on there. That was great as always. He's just fantastic, especially when we get into the X's and O's. Interesting to hear his thoughts on this card. Really, Mark De La Rosa, the only upset that he kind of felt confident in. Doing some more research since we've done that interview, the main event, Cynthia Carvillo, Jessica I also came in overweight, so she's going to lose some money. The Carl Roberts, him coming in overweight, that factors into this. So I really think you kind of go chalk. You play that one upset with De La Rosa and the other with Charles Rosa that I've suggested. So those are easy to remember. Rosa, De La Rosa, boom.
I'll try and remember all of that, Dre.
Excellent. Thank you.
Andre, you were pretty shocked that he wasn't going to watch this weekend.
I've become so UFC obsessed. I was like, what?
You stopped in your tracks and were
I
like,
know.
really?
Well, it seemed like he was really like putting out a statement like, this card is so awful, I won't even be watching. Then he explained, no, it's because family's in town. So
Maybe it's a little bit of both.
Yeah, it could be. I mean, in a sense, he was saying that his card is the big one coming up, and I mean, he's not wrong.
Well, I'm gonna hop back out again, but
Okay.
Go Twins.
Go Twins. All right. I love it. And keep any comments coming because we're closing it out. But if anyone's trying to interact, I want to know. So KBO went disastrously yesterday. I had 3 picks. Bears Eagles over 10.5 didn't hit. And then the Dinos seem like such a shoo-in. This has happened several times. It happened with Jokic. We have a massive favorite. We have a pitcher we really like going against a pitcher who's awful. So we take the team to win outright by over 1.5 points. I know our guy Chris Hill was in for -2.5 and was saying he wanted to get in on more than that. So I hope Chris didn't go in too heavy. And I had Dinos over 6.5. That doesn't hit either because it ends up being a 3-2 game that goes into extra innings. So that didn't help me at all. Classic 0-3 night where all goes sour. But all in all, it's been a good week for me, especially with baseball helping out, the draft and all that. And beyond the UFC picks where I'm riding with Blaydes. I told you that Charles Rosa, De La Rosa is the only upsets. The interesting thing is the odds have changed for that Cynthia Calvillo fight. She's now the favorite. It's not really a push anymore. So Jessica I now a slight underdog, which seems reasonable. I don't know that I like Cynthia Calvillo when she was a little less than than a push. Now where she's the favorite, I really kind of hate that. So that might be just a stay away for me altogether. Carl Roberts, there's some intrigue there as an upset against Vettori, even if he missed his weight, because he's going to be healthier without having missed that weight. But Vettori's so upset. You go find the clip of them almost getting in a fight after he missed weight last time around. That's a true grudge match. I will be glued to my TV to watch all of that unfold. But yeah, those UFC picks kind of chalk from there. And with my KBO picks, I am going Heroes Dinos over 11, Giants Twins over 9. I would say that's because producer Ali just said go Twins. It has nothing to do with that. It has everything to do with the ERAs of these pitchers. Ryan, come Sunday, I'm going to force him to give us some more golf picks because those were going really well. So I'm coming back at it. But that's the weekend picks for you. Thank you guys for listening. Stay safe out there. We'll talk again Monday and recap all this and get into some more bets and odds and all the good stuff that the good people at DraftKings Sportsbook are adding. So have a great weekend, everybody. Thank you for riding with us.